In San Bernardino, California, at an office building there. Today's shooting coming just days after another shooting in Colorado at a Planned Parenthood facility. Jay Dotson is a disaster preparedness expert from Fortress Preparedness Services. Jay, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you, Dan.
We have talked sadly about these kinds of mass shootings before. Each one is different, but what do you take away from these events when it comes to businesses, facilities like this, and what they need to do to protect themselves?
Yeah, thanks, Dan. Well, as you look at the cases we've had in the United States, it's happened in just about every type of business. Obviously, there are some that are higher profile than others, but all businesses, especially those that are high profile, need to have a written plan. And you might think to yourself, what's a piece of paper going to do to protect people? What it does is it gives people guidance, gives them an idea of what to do if there is an attack. We tend to, as human beings,
things like shelter in place. These are the kinds of things we hear about.
Yeah, what people will do, what we will do is we'll do what we're most used to doing under stressful conditions, and this would be a very stressful condition. So if we've trained on something and maybe even practiced it physically, we're going to be much more effective at it if we're faced with an attack.
This case, though, does seem very unusual from what we're hearing so far, and obviously a lot of the details are still coming in.
Yes.
But reports of there being multiple gunmen in body armor and the fact that they all escaped. We don't see cases like that happen very often.
It's very rare, and we hope we don't see any more of them, but in this particular case, it's very early to have details on what's actually happening yet, but it could be a possible situation where they're going to attack another location.
We certainly hope that's not the case, obviously.
Absolutely.
In cases like this, it really puts everyone's attention on safety. There was even an incident today at a local hospital, Community North Hospital. They had a robbery in the parking lot. There was a lockdown put in place, even an active shooter alert that went out there. There was no active shooter there, but these kinds of events put everyone on high alert, don't they, to prepare for the worst?
Absolutely, and you know, one of the big things that we're very concerned about in the United States today, it's been talked about recently in the past few days, is about a terrorist attack. And in reality, the preparedness for an armed attack, like an active shooter incident, or the preparedness for a terrorist attack are very similar. Sometimes people think those plans and training and education may be overwhelming, but you really want to try to overlap your preparedness because there are different levels that can help in both types of situations.
Well, Jay Dotson, we appreciate you being with us today to talk about the events today in California. Fetchin, back to you.
All right, gentlemen, thank you. Well, world powers are now discussing strategies to defeat ISIS. We're going to show you what's being considered. Plus, the jury is now seated in the trial of a Baltimore police officer charged in the death of an inmate, while the officer's lawyer says his client is not guilty. Don't go away.